Hello and welcome to the Afro-Dominion Show. I'm Freeman Singirankabo and thank you so much for tuning into our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from social media, radio stations or television, welcome. We are super excited and thrilled that you can find some time out of your busy schedule to tune into our program today. Please be sure to come and share the program, sending you a comment. And those of you who can also participate if you can. We will truly be appreciative of that. And with that in mind, guys, we speak boldly, truthfully, and with no apologies for the issues that we care mostly about. And here at Afro-Dominion, this is what we can promise you with. The conversation we normally get to have here, the conversation we have here all the time, these are the conversations that we truly care about. And we've never had the opportunity to speak about these issues before, especially driven by our own narrative. So here at Afro-Dominion, we get an opportunity, we get a chance to do that. And I also want to let you know, guys, that we speak in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which you can expect the conversation to follow, the program to follow. Be it me or anybody else, this we always get to continue. We follow this path, truth, love, and trust as benchmarks. So I encourage and I welcome each and every one of you guys who participate in our conversation to come and be with us, to come and have you saying as it happens. Apologies for such a late start. We had another program that we just couldn't get out of in a timely fashion way. Nevertheless, we got to do what we got to do today. And we also have quite an amazing topic that I would love to share with each and every one of you guys so you can have a saying in it. And the topic for today, I want to jump right in it without any hesitation. And right before I get in it, I'm being reminded that for those of you guys who do not know how to get in touch with us, we are literally broadcasting, be it on television, radio station, or social medias. But in particular, if you want to get in touch with us, if you don't know how to get in touch, go straight to our website, which is www.afrodominion.com. www.afrodominion.com. Shoot us an email at info@afrodominion.com. info@afrodominion.com. While you're on the website, you can find the rest of our information as far as how you get in touch with us, and we'll be more than glad to speak with you, even bring you to the conversation as it happens. Most of you know how to get in it. We usually have our live Zoom, so you can actually plug in and join the conversation. And with that in mind, guys, let's jump right in the conversation today. So, again, we talking straight to you, brothers and sisters. Who is gaining in the theater of war in the East DRC? And is the price of death of the locals acceptable? Again, let me repeat. Who is gaining in the theater of war in East DRC? And is the price of death of the locals acceptable? And for those of you who are not familiar with this whole topic, the DRC, for those of you who are not familiar with this abbreviation, DRC stands for the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's one of these nations in the middle of Africa, literally in the middle of Africa. It used to be called Zaire. And we have endless wars there, endless wars. Heck, you can go as back as when the country was still being colonized by the Belgians. There were wars, and these wars have never stopped, even during the changes from colonization to republic. Even though there are still colonization schemes there, nevertheless, the wars continues today. So the question becomes today: who is gaining in the theater of war in East Democratic Republic of the Congo? And is the price of death of the locals acceptable? Guys, for those of you who are not familiar, more than 5 million people alone in the Democratic Republic of the Congo have perished up to date. More than 5 million people. Some of you may or may not be aware of this. These innocent people, why are they dying? Why are they dying? Our brothers and sisters, why are they dying? Who is gaining in these days? This is not an issue that just occurred overnight. It's been going on for at least 30 plus years. With the starting of the war right on the neighboring country, Rwanda. In the 1990s, the Rwandan Patriotic Front attacked Rwanda. As soon as the war was going, 4 years after the genocide took place in Rwanda, and then the whole entire war migrated from Rwanda to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, the narrative that's being there is that the genocidaires from Rwanda have fled to the Democratic Republic of the Congo as a pretext right now that Rwanda uses to go and attack the locals, to go and plunder the minerals. Now, for those of you also who are not familiar, the East DRC, or East Democratic Republic of the Congo, is filthy wealthy in minerals. All kinds of minerals that you can imagine, it's there. There is just a ridiculous amount of deposit of minerals, of rich minerals, natural minerals there. Whatever it is you can conceive in your head is there. So now the pretext of war has been ravaging this nation, this country, because of the minerals, local minerals. For those of you who are not familiar, today I'm going to keep it simple, guys. You see this phone that I have here? This phone, the contents, we're not talking about the messages, the hardware itself, the raw material that creates this phone. Most of it is coming from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. When you think of blood diamond, for example, in areas where they have these diamond, you find that that there is constant fights, constant wars. Why? Because foreigners, they go there under the pretext of wars. Of course, people do kill each other there. And while they're busy killing each other, the rest plunder. That's the same thing happening in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo. There is endless war, endless wars there, so that foreigners can plunder. And unfortunately, Rwanda is one of the gateway of death for the East Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, I happen to be born and to come from Rwanda, and it's kind of messed up that I can actually publicly say that Rwanda is the gateway of the death in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Unfortunately, is the truth. Unfortunately, is the truth, and I'm disgusted by that, and I want that to stop. I would love that to stop, which is why I'm speaking up, just like so many others speaking up. So now, for you foreigners, specifically Westerners, those of you who have gun manufacturing farms, you go on in the DRC, you go on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and plundering these rich minerals to help you get your work done. In turn, you're flooding the same weapons in the region. And you create these proxy walls to maintain instability, to maintain chaos, so you can be able to plunder everything that you need. How is that acceptable, guys? Especially you brothers and sisters in Africa. I'm looking at you. Why do we allow the theater of war to be created as a distraction while we are getting killed? And then the rest are helping themselves plundering our rich natural minerals. Right now, if the Democratic Republic of the Congo didn't have any natural resources, there will be zero war. Something interesting that I want to bring to your attention right now. The United Nations is there, and I'm talking about the United Nations Army, or the so-called army. Not for one day, not for 1 month, not for 1 year, for decades. What are they doing there? And for those of you who are not familiar with the United Nations agenda, please go to their website and read about the purpose of the United Nations. So for decades, the United Nations has been there, babysitting thieves, babysitting murderers, babysitting all kinds of illegal activities taking place, babysitting locals being killed. And up to this very date, nobody goes to jail. Nobody has yet faced justice. So you brothers and sisters, you Africans, this is for you. What are you doing as it relates to other brothers and sisters in the Democratic Republic of the Congo being killed? Today I'm not about naming any factions, groups fighting there, because there are plenty. One of them is notoriously in the mass media right now as we speak. If you literally search the internet and type in the fight in East Democratic Republic of the Congo, you are going to see the very top list rebel group that's in the eyes of everybody. But the most important thing isn't being spoken of, the people. 5 million minimum of locals dead. And up to this very moment, nobody cares. Just in the United States, you have followed this month, the death in the high school. Guns killing innocent children at the school, in the high school there. And you see how it's changing the narrative of everything happening in the United States. I believe 22 people died there, from my list of reports. And the conversation in the United States is changing as far as guns this and guns that. Millions have died. Millions continue to die in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. There's zero conversation about it, and nobody cares. But then it led me to wonder, and led me to question, why should they care anyway? These are the true colors. They are showing literally who they are. And you, the people, you're taking flights, you're coming into New York, you're taking flights, you're coming to Washington, asking, please help us, please help us. What the hell are you doing? Follow the guns, follow the money. Where are these guns coming from? I was asking yesterday, and I would still ask today. The Democratic Republic of the Congo does not manufacture weapons. How are these weapons ending up in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo? The Democratic Republic of the Congo is supposedly ruled by by rules that, the rule of law. Are there any guidelines? Are there any rules and regulations available there to protect the people, there to protect the nation itself? Where is the crack in the pot? Oftentimes we talk that Africans, we are slaves. Africans, we do not care of ourselves enough to fight for ourselves. 1 person, 10 people, 1,000, 100,000, 1 million, couple millions dying. And none of us stand up and say enough is enough. Let's do all that we can. All that we can. Bring it all on the table. Bring it all on the table and absolutely wipe out, uproot the root cause of the problem. Young brothers and sisters, young Africans, it is not acceptable that we just stand by and watch you brothers and sisters in the DRC dying every single day. We're talking about they've been dying in millions. And it goes in this one ear and comes out in this other ear. Is the price of the death of our brothers and sisters worth it? While the nation is being plundered, they're leaving behind bodies and nobody cares. Is that really a legacy that all of us want to inherit today, tomorrow, 10 years, 100 years from now? Are the people in the middle of these wars aware that there are ways to protect themselves? Why am I saying the people directly instead of the military, the soldiers who are supposed to do the job to begin with? These soldiers, they seem to have forgotten their jobs, their roles as National Guards. There should never be any wars in the Democratic Republic of the Congo to begin with. There should never be any rebel groups to begin with. Now, don't get me wrong, the country is as big, it is so big. Literally, it's an elephant. Thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometer squares are very difficult to protect, to actually ensure that no arms, no illegal activities are taking place. However, the price of peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo must also include, literally, safeguarding every single meter of the land. So, the Democratic Republic of the Congo population is more than 100 million. I asked a question yesterday and I'm still gonna pose it right now. Why can't you get at least 1 million of your brothers and sisters and take them in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo and safeguard your territory? Get everybody out who doesn't belong. Literally, get them out. Start with the foreigners who have camped there plundering your natural resources. Have a moratorium on all activities related to natural resources plundering and exporting outside of the country. If you cannot have that, the guts, the power to do that, know that your nation is under slavery. The same as a lot of these African nations, we are under slavery. We fight against slavery. And we're not talking about slavery in the books, slavery in the movies. We are living under slavery, though you don't have physical shackles. Be it as it may, guys, unless you get that in your head and unless you take actions, the status quo will remain. As far as you know, it has been the case for these past 30-something years. Today we are grown-ups. We were just the little children in diapers when these wars started. All the leaders who have maintained the status quo. Please, let's support our brothers and sisters who are for the eradication of these wars. Any brother and sisters who is for eradication of these wars, let's support them. Any nation participating in these wars, let us also attack them. They're bringing wars to your territory, take it back to their territory. Because oftentimes, it is very difficult to understand the price of a war. In the death of a loved one, when you cannot relate to it. What am I saying? Currently, millions of people have died on the territory of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. You have Rwanda right in the middle of it, and it has just had its own genocide. You have Uganda right in the middle of it, and it has just had its own shares of wars. You have Burundi in the middle of it. It also had just come out of its own wars. All these nations have had a share of wars, a share of blood on their own territory, yet that continues. And one may wonder, is it that we are blood lovers? Is it that we like wars, that these wars continue, or there is something else that is missing in the equation? And that's what I'm submitting to you guys. Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo do not have manufacturers of weapons. Yet we have the latest of the latest of the latest of the gadgets when it comes to weapons of mass destructions. Either we're really dumb or stupid, that these weapons are coming from the sky and they're falling in the laps of these soldiers. And we use them to kill each other for these past 30-something years. And we turn around and we cry at the same time. What's wrong with that picture? Now, those of you willing, especially young people, there is a need to get to the bottom of it. First and foremost, who is supplying these weapons in the Greater Lakes region? Who is supplying these weapons? Do you know that it does not cost, it does not, let me say it this way. Let me put it this way. It is not free. These weapons of which are being brought in these regions aren't for free. When you see Rwanda bringing in the latest of the gadgets, the weapons are not free. When you see the DRC being given the latest of the gadgets in weaponry, these weapons are not free. When you see Uganda and Burundi bringing in weapons, they are not free. There are back deals, guys, being made behind your back, you the people. And it's about time you become responsible if your representatives are bringing in these weapons. And then they're ending up on the streets. They're ending up in the jungle. They're ending up in your villages, killing your loved ones. The jokes are on you, unfortunately and sadly to say. So for these past 32 years, the jokes have been on the people. Be it out of ignorance, bottom line, the loved ones are dying and are perishing in millions. Either we really are stupid, or we are, we just don't care, or something else is happening and we have not been able to scrutinize and to realize what it is. Rules and laws do not work in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo, and you wonder why. The laws aren't working in Rwanda, you wonder why. They aren't working in Uganda, and you wonder why. Specifically, when it comes to warfare, I want to be clear. So what is the point of having rules and regulations and policies when you cannot enact them, when they cannot yield any fruits that the people can use, that the people can benefit from? So you lawmakers, you policymakers, shame on you. The millions of our brothers and sisters are dying on your watch. And you've been trusted and you've been given the stewardship to set up rules and policies of which are supposed to bring order, to develop, to at least to allow development to take place, to allow peace to reign in the region. Yet it is the opposite. So I say to you, scratch everything that doesn't work. Scratch everything that doesn't work. Implement what works. Set up whatever it is you have to do to stop these wars from happening. I do not understand how in the world an elephant as big as the Democratic Republic of the Congo is allowing a little teeny country like Rwanda to bully them, bringing in fights, bringing in wars. for many years, and nothing is done. I also do not understand how in the world you would want these people. Brothers and sisters, we are standing by while the Rwandan Patriotic Front is waging war in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and we do nothing about it. It is no longer an issue at home. It has been actually exported to other nations. What happens when the same war that we have waged on somebody else's territory comes at home in the living room, comes at home where you reside now, right where you can actually feel the wrath of these bullets, of these bombs, next to you, next to your loved ones? What's going to happen? Brothers and sisters, think about these things. We have arrogant soldiers in Rwanda, mercenaries, I may call them that way. They're looking for projects, killing projects. They're looking for wars to go fight. One of them is very notorious. There's a video of one of these so-called generals arrogantly saying that we using Rwandan air to take us to the Democratic Republic of the Congo to fight. And at the end of the day, they bring us back at home. We have made money, we have fought. The wars are kept there, far, far, far away from Rwanda. A general arrogantly speaking up that he prays the wars continue. The killing continues as long as it's not in his living room, as long as it is not right where his children reside, as long as it is not right next to where he sets up his flat television. Brothers and sisters, this arrogance, this hate, this ignorance has to stop, guys. Just because you go and kill people away in 10,000 kilometers, 20,000 kilometers away from your house, away from your families. You murder people. You wipe out villages, and you come back home and you claim victory. It does not mean that the same karma cannot find you at home. So there is a need for a change, guys. There's a need for a truly, truly, truly well thought of change. That doesn't come from the United Nations, by the way. Kick out the United Nations soldiers, by the way, you DRC people. Those guys have been there for 30 something years, plundering your nations, causing chaos, not bringing in peace. Kick him out. If I was your president, I would give 24 hours any foreigner who's in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo. I will give him 24 hours to pack and go and just clean meters by meters. Clean the region meters by meters. Once you clean and you inspect the region, then you decide who comes back in and for what purpose they're coming in there. Young people, what must be done for these wars to be ended on our own soil, on our own territory? Seems like anywhere you have natural resources, these wars are inevitable. However, by the time you realize why these wars are inevitable, it also daunts you that there are foreigners behind all these wars. I repeat, there are invisible foreigners behind every single one of these wars. Which is why I keep on posing the question, where is the gun manufacturer? Where is the weapon manufacturer in this region? Why is it that it's cheaper to buy any weapon of mass destruction than to buy a basket of apples, a basket of potatoes, rice, food to feed your children, to feed your families. Why is it cheaper to get to buy bullets than to get something to drink? These are the fundamental questions that must be on your table at home. You gotta be able to decide. You gotta be able to think. How you explain having a latest gadget, 2022 weapon of mass destruction on your territory, and you cannot have something to eat? How is it that they know where to bring these weapons? When I say they, the weapon manufacturers, the nations selling these weapons. By the way, these nations, we know them. There is United States, there is France, there is Russia, there is China, to name the few. And they happen to be on the Security Council. They happen to be the police of the rest of these nations. There's never been a time when any one of these manufacturers is liable for the weapons killing our brothers and sisters. And it's about time that we start holding them accountable, especially when you, the people, cannot explain how these weapons are arriving. Stop these weapons from getting inside of your country. If they're there, track them down. The bottom line, you've got to do the work, be it dirty or not. You got to get to it. Otherwise, tomorrow there won't be anybody to tell the story. And unfortunately, that's how most of these foreigners would like it to be. In 2022, it is unconscionable that we are still slaves. In 2022, let the history record. It's sad that we are still slaves, but this time around, we are slaves of other democratic nations, so-called democratic nations. Let me also put it that way. Slavery has not gone away. It just changed forms. So, either we eradicate slavery and we take charge of our own nations, we take charge of our own territories, or we embrace slavery, we embrace getting killed every day. That would literally, what we do determines the value we give to, we give ourselves. You cannot tell me the millions of brothers and sisters in the Democratic Republic of the Congo killed, and not one single one of them has yet to receive justice. That's a value that we have placed upon them. Those being killed right now in the eastern DRC, right now, not years ago, right now, those who are being killed, I don't see any honor in them by us being silent. You see, we are young today. We are old enough to speak up, but we are still a little bit young. If this goes on for another 5, 10, 20 years, our children and grandchildren will come over and will be forced to work or to clean our mess, or the mess that we are leaving. Can we please take the broom and sweep our own messes on our way out? There's so much going on, whether you are aware of it or not. You have a responsibility as a people. Now we're talking about even the Great Lakes region. Can I also add the East African community? Either it's a fake East African community, or you do what you gotta do. I do not understand how an East African nation attacks another nation, and none of the East African community member countries say anything about it. Guys, we are we've been put into things we do not understand. Where is the interest of the East African community if there is no bottom line, peace, if it cannot protect you? You cannot run business without peace. You cannot run business with someone being bullied by another person in the same domain. We have the biggest bully around the world today, policing the entire world. Either you gotta learn how to stand up against them, or you're just going to perish. But be it as it may, at the end of the day, it is up to you and me to decide what to do. The quicker we do it, the better. We can actually protect our brothers and sisters. Because 300 years ago, a lot of these bullies were not around the block to bully anybody. We knew how to protect ourselves then. We must bring that back. There was never, the United States did not exist 300 years ago. France did not exist 300 years ago. China did not exist 300 years ago as we know it today. Germany wasn't there 300 years ago. So why is it that the kids on the block are bullying everybody today? They're coming in your business. They don't want you to be in their business, but they're coming in your business. And they are on the full front of every war that's being waged. They're bringing in the biggest gun. They're bringing in all kinds of weapons. And they hand them to you. And they say, go on and do your thing. And none of you are bold enough to say something about that. That has to stop. That has to stop. Otherwise, we are going to continue to see death amongst our brothers and sisters. So now, what is your role and responsibility? That's what I want to end this conversation on. And something practical, not just talking, guys. What can you do as a token of a good faith that you can help our brothers and sisters in the Democratic Republic of the Congo to end these endless wars where they are dying every single day? What can you do, brothers and sisters in Africa, even outside of Africa? We cannot just be bystanders. I have already said that. Even we cannot afford to be silent. Your silence is an approval of what's happening. Your ignorance is an approval of what's happening. You do not get a pass for ignorance. Let me give you a practical example. So for those of you who are not familiar, in Rwanda, a woman gets raped, a woman gets beaten up in the open on the street. And you know what my brothers and sisters, they do? They pretend like nothing is happening. Truthfully, I'm telling you the truth. Evidence is here on this social media. Those of you who have time to go look for it. Publicly. They're even taking the videos and recording these acts of violence taking place real time. So if someone is bold enough, is stupid enough to come in your face and say, you know what, I can rape you publicly, I know the government won't say nothing because I'm sent by them. And you, the people, you allow that to happen. When someone goes in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo publicly, rape and kill people there, and they say, well, we know there are no consequences because the same gadgets, we are receiving them from these governments. At what point, you, the people, do you come in and say, hell no, enough is enough with this? At what point, you brothers and sisters, do you come in and actually fight against it publicly? Until it becomes your sister, your mother, your little brother. Those of you who don't want to do nothing, who want to mind out of your business, You can never comprehend what's happening in the East Democratic Republic of the Congo. Groups like the Rwandan Patriotic Front, who have been ravaging these nations, these regions for 30 plus years. Not only they have to be court-martialed and face public justice, but they have to be literally uprooted out of society. They are at the center of the millions and millions of deaths that we have witnessed these past 3 decades alone. And today it continues. And you young people, unfortunately, you are busy playing video games. You parents, you are busy, silent, and being cowards, unfortunately. What must happen? What must happen for you to come to the rescue of our brothers and sisters? What must happen? Thank you guys for your message. We're running out of time. I realize that you guys want to say something about my what we are saying, but we are literally closing the broadcast right now. We can talk about it again tomorrow because this is a very, very sensitive topic. And I want to invite you guys tomorrow if you want to talk about it. It is open every single day, guys. It is open, at least Monday through Friday. What's happening here will continue to happen. Innocent lives are going to die as long as it's going to take for us to come to the rescue. The United States is not going to come to your rescue, guys. China is not going to come to your rescue. France is not going to come to your rescue. Canada, Germany, they are not coming to your rescue. Because truthfully speaking, you are not a priority. They're coming for their own interest, not for your interest, not for your child's interest. And unfortunately, not even for your life. You can die for what they care. Most of you have died already. Brothers and sisters have already perished. They were there. They've been there for decades and decades and decades. The United Nations has been there ever since this war started. They're busy stealing. They're busy doing their own thing. They're busy serving the purpose by which they are there right now. And all of you are still looking, unfortunately, like stupid. And I'm not trying to be derogatory to all of you guys. And I'm not being really disrespectful. But can we talk real talk? Can you swallow it? Crimes are going to continue to happen. Deaths are going to continue to happen to us, unfortunately, unless we decided to stand up and do something about it ourselves. It is going to continue to happen. So what are you going to do, brothers and sisters? And here I'm not even just talking about the Democratic Republic of the Congo population, Rwandese population, Ugandan, Burundians. I'm talking about the entire Africa. Those of you young people listening in right now, watching on your television, listening on the radio stations, watching on these social medias. Whether you are outside of Africa or still inside of Africa, it does not change that our brothers and sisters are perishing, are dying. The worst kind of death you can imagine. Today, in 2022, in the Greater Lakes region alone, up to 15 million people have already perished. 15 million people in just a matter of 30 years. In only 30 years, guys. How do you explain that? In the same country that I just mentioned, they have very, very, very well documentation as to every single one of these deaths. By the way, they all are caught up in the cookie jar. So, are they the same nations you're going to ask for help? Seriously speaking? Guys, smell the coffee. Wake up and smell the coffee. Because if you don't, we're still going to go another 10 years, another 20 years, another 30 years of the same thing over and over and over again with different players, with different actors. And I'm so sick and tired of that. I'm so sick and tired of our own families getting killed every single day. And we just clap. And we look away because somebody said, mind your business. I don't see people getting killed here in the United States. And the government minds its own business. But also, let's be clear. There are deaths here. And when you scrutinize, it is also complex. But you don't have the same weapons that they are selling to Africans on the streets here, killing people mercilessly. You just came by heavy weaponry, massive destructions, weapons, and bring in on these streets in Washington, bring him somewhere in Paris, bring him in Moscow, and just randomly do your thing. So why is it okay that they are brought in Africa? And we become the guinea pigs to show them whether these weapons can kill as many people. And by the time they realize that they can actually kill, they bring them right back and sell them to us. So brothers and sisters, take charge. Take a stand. Thank you so much, guys. Gotta go. Those of you who want to get in touch with us, reach us out at afridominion.com or www.afridominion.com. Shoot us an email at info@afridominion.com. And I'm begging you guys to wake up. You must wake up because this war in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, it's not going away anytime soon. Because not only they are filthy wealthy on natural resources, but everybody and their mamas is looking for it. With that in mind, guys, I'm Freeman Singirankabo here at our Free Dominion show. I want to wish you guys a super fantastic day. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to this program. Continue to help, guys. We've been sort of on and off last week because so many other things are happening. And apologies for those of you who, who were forced to watch other programs because we didn't bring you any live programming back then. But until we see you back, we see you back again tomorrow, guys. I wish you all a beautiful day. God bless my brothers and sisters in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Stay strong, stand up, and fight for your rights to life against any enemies, domestic and foreign, guys. Until next time, so long for now.